Hello, 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 everybody. I am Stacey Thomas with the Stacey Thomas Unrestricted Unlimited Talk Show. Why, for you new viewers, by the way, let me say thank you for tuning in. I say unrestricted unlimited because that's what God gave me. For me and my guests, don't put us in a box. We have yet to see all that God has for us. And tonight, if I smile too much, you guys that know me and follow me know I must have gotten familiar with my guests before tonight, right? I've been talking to this beautiful woman for a while, and I got to tell you, she's one of those people. And I hope you get this too. She passes her blessings along. So let's welcome to the show CEO and talk show host, inspirational speaker, and new author. And I'd like to shout her out and say congratulations because her show, Table Talking More with Darlene, out in Atlanta, Georgia, actually was the recipient of a Star Award. Is that correct?
Yes.
Welcome to the show, beautiful.
Thank you, Stacey. Thanks for inviting me.
How
I'm
are
so honored
you?
to be here.
You are. How are you?
I am great.
You're great, darling. You're always
I
great.
am,
You're beautiful.
I'm great. I
You're
am.
great. You are. So, as Stacy likes to ask questions. So, I'm very I've been inspired and motivated by you. Okay, I've been
Okay.
following you. I've been talking to you, and I know I've asked you before, but Darlene, I, along with others, we want to know who you are. Who you are. Okay.
Okay.
So let's start with you before we get into the big things that you're doing. Let's start off as a young lady, Darlene. Who did you want to be or what did you want to do?
When I was a young girl, I never knew, Stacey. I never had a specific thing. A lot of kids say, well, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a doctor, or I want to be an airline stewardess or flight attendants, as they call them today. But I never had one thing in particular that I knew I wanted to do. I knew I wanted
Okay.
to travel. I knew that. But
And you're a mother, right?
oh boy, yes.
Can I ask how many kids?
Six.
Six kids. So
Six.
you didn't know exactly what you wanted to do. Did you know you wanted six children?
No, I only wanted two.
I wanted zero. But okay. So you went through school, even in high school, you had no idea you'd do what you're doing now?
No,
No?
never in my life would I have thought that I would be where I am.
Where
Um,
you are?
yes, where I am now. Never did I think I would go through what I've been through either. Um,
Really?
yes, yes, and I've been through a lot, Stacy.
So you make it sound like it hasn't been easy, yet you're smiling. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
so tell us what came first. CEO, and please tell us what is your company?
My company is a utility locating company. To put that in simpler form, we locate utilities, lights, water, gas, sewer, cable, like your phone, your internet, Wi-Fi. We locate all of that for a design purpose. In other words, what we do, we do map research, and once we get if there's a property, we locate it like it's kind of like being an engineer designer when they're an architect when he's designing something. So we design utilities on the ground with our paint, with our equipment, along with the maps.
Interesting. And please forgive me. And, and please forgive me if I glance down. I want to make sure I have you so that everybody can see you. Um, that company is quite different. Um, I, not only is it different to me, I never really thought about a company like that, right? Like who locates the lines. But as
Right.
an African American woman, I guess it surprises me that you created this.
Let's just say I worked for someone that had a company. I worked in the office, and I didn't know anything about the industry. And so when I came in as a manager. So I learned the lingo. I learned what we did, and when that was no longer a locating company, then I started my own, a woman,
And did
and that wasn't real popular.
did you have 6 children at that time?
Yes, yeah, because they were three were grown, and three were still in school. Two high school, and I had a middle schooler when this happened. So yeah.
I can't imagine that that was easy because you said that you've gone through a lot. So where did that motivation come from, or that energy, having 6 kids,
Oh,
to actually taking on being the boss?
oh, well, the story is a little deeper, but we don't have that much time today. So, um, but Stacy, the fact that I needed to make a move. So it was either a 9 to 5 after that, or start my own thing. And the money was good. The money was good in the industry, but a woman didn't own a company like that in this region. So
Wow.
why
Wow.
not? Yeah.
So
And
when you decided to step into this, were you ever fearful?
of course, every time I walk into a room where you go to bid on contracts, I was afraid because,
Was
hey,
afraid.
I'm new at this. This was a new end of the spectrum. So of course, I'm in a room with all of these guys of different backgrounds, and here I am, a woman trying to, what I'm saying, embarking upon their territory as they feel, because that's how they feel. Believe it or not, they can't say it, but they show it. But because of God, it has worked out. It's been a struggle. It's been a struggle. It's been a fight to keep it afloat, because again, it wasn't favorable. So when something is not favorable, people they don't what's the word, they don't come to you, or they didn't call. So the phones was not ringing, but the bills were still going on because I had to have equipment. So I got the equipment, I was able to purchase it and all of that. But then you got to keep the notes going, and then there's insurance, and then there's tax liabilities, and then there's all of these other things that come with it, vehicles, and then more insurance. So, I had to put my personal life on it, my personal credit, my personal money. So therefore, I had to make some real hard choices, um, on a whole lot of things concerning me. So I had to sacrifice, but it has been worth it.
And a lot of times when people step out and do something, because I know you said it hasn't always been easy, and because it wasn't a big thing for a woman to be doing what you were starting to do,
Right.
did you ever have those naysayers in your ear?
All the
Because a
time.
lot of times when we're trying to do things, people have a tendency to,
Yes. All the
naysayers.
time, all the time, Stacy. Darlene, how you doing it? Are you getting contracts? People that don't understand real sacrifice, they did not understand what they didn't understand the business at all, of course. So here they are here. Well, how are you doing it? How do contracts? And if you try to explain to them, they don't know what you're talking about, no way. And even after explaining, now they're more lost now than they were before you started. Because a lot of times when you say you have a contract, people think as soon as you get a contract, then you're off and running, but it doesn't work like that. I bid on
Okay.
the contract. I'm awarded the contract. Then we have to go through all of the procedures of getting with the primes, and I'm usually a sub. So it's different spectrums of the contract before, and then once you start work, you got to have money. And if it's not already up front that you're going to get an X amount of money, then that means you have to have the money to do the work before you even get paid. So sometimes it could be 3 months even after you're awarded a contract before you see a dime.
But you never gave up.
No, and it got
Never
hard.
gave up.
No,
So
I've been through rougher times
after,
than
and you know what? And I like to talk, Darlene. When you say you've been through rougher times than that, I try to remind myself every day when things go wrong.
that's right.
Look at what you've gone through. That's the
Yeah,
motivation right there. What makes you think God won't get you through the
that's
day? You know what
right.
I'm saying?
That's right.
So, so talk show host, inspirational speaker, which came first?
Talk show. Ah, boy, inspirational speaker. Because I've been in ministry for 20 years. This past April was 20 years. So it's been a long journey, you know. It's been even with my kids, I divorced after 7 years of marriage the first time, and I was divorced for like 14 years. So me and my kids lived in Atlanta before I even moved to North Carolina. That's why they consider Atlanta home more so than here. And for me,
So I'm wondering, has she frozen up or is it just me? We'll wait for her to come back. Let's see. Darlene's very interesting. Um, Let me see what's going on. Hi, let's see. So she's gone. Whenever there's something good that someone has to say, for some reason, it seems like the video messes up. I'm gonna stay here until she comes back. She'll join us again. So for those of you who have just joined, Darlene is a new author, and we're gonna get to talking about her book and what we can expect from her in the future as soon as she comes back. Let's see. So in the meantime, while we're waiting on Darlene to come back, if you're interested in advertising or being a guest on the show, or perhaps investing in the show, please email me at iamstaceythomas, that's Stacey @gmail.com. That's iamstaceythomas @gmail.com. I am waiting for Darlene to return. We may have to take a small break to see exactly what's going on, see if she's coming back into the studio. So let me see. If you all have anything you'd like to ask Darlene Lyons, please feel free to post it and I will ask your questions. Let's see. Thank you, Damon. Damon Thomas of Men of Courage. Thank you. Let's see. I'll be back in a moment.
We're back.
We're back. We're back. So Darlene Lyons is back. We had some technical difficulties, but that's
It
okay.
happens.
When we got
It
something
happens.
good to share, it happens, right?
Yes.
So you told us about being a CEO and founder of your own company, and we touched based on inspirational speaker. Darlene, the talk show must be an awesome show to receive an award. Where did that come from? What inspired you to do that?
Um, Stacey, it was just something God put in my heart. I didn't. It's not like people say write it and make it plain. It wasn't one of those things. It was, I was writing, which I'm always traveling somewhere. Um, and God said, I'm about to give you your own platform. And so being that I was in ministry, and in ministry, that's it takes on so many legs when you're connected with people and all these different organizations and whatever. And if they don't want to use you or whatever, so I kind of left all of that. I didn't leave God, I just left the issues. Okay. And
Okay, okay.
I left the issues behind. And because that's not God. God is here. So um when this came, I had a friend, I won't call her name, and she called me one day and she says, hey, woman of God. I said, hey, how you doing? She said, hey, God has put you in my heart and said that you need to start your own show. Now, God just said he's going to give me my own platform. Well, I didn't have to answer to anybody, other than the rules and regulations of man and him. And I said, I don't know anything about talk show. She said, you know how to talk. She said, you're a people person. Little behold, God gave me the name, and I talked to um, the studio, the network, the owner, and we came to an agreement, and I started taping at the studio in Atlanta. And I was driving down about once a week and then like once every 2 weeks or whatever. And I would tape and have guests meet me there. I've had guests fly in from Massachusetts. Tim Cagle is very famous. He's an author, a few books. He's a very well known attorney of like 40 some years in Massachusetts. I've had Senator Barnett on my show. He's a senator out of the state of Mississippi. I've had people from different walks of life, playwriters. I mean, it has been great.
So your
Um,
so your guests vary.
yes,
Okay.
yes, it's not a one way. Hmm.
Okay, okay. Sounds interesting. I know I've seen some of the videos on YouTube. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Darlene, now we're gonna go from the talk show. And by the way, let's say that name again. Table Talking More with Darlene. Congratulations on your upcoming novel.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And
Thank
tell
you.
us, what is the name of your book?
Have a seat. Have a seat.
Where did that come from, Darlene?
Where did the title come from, or where did just writing this novel come from?
Where did the title come from? Did you create the title before you wrote the book or
Mm.
after?
It was after.
Okay.
It was after. I had no idea.
Can you give us a brief synopsis of what the book is going to be about?
Hmm. Um, Life experiences from a young girl.
Okay.
Um, my upbringing. Just a brief description about my parents. The situation in which I was born in.
Okay.
Single mom. That
So
kind of stuff.
I have to ask you this, and I believe I've
Okay.
asked you this before, but we didn't have an audience. You're gonna
Probably.
so we're about to see your new book that'll be released soon. Have a seat. And you say it's about your life and you having children. Let me ask you this. What's so special about your story? Anyone can write a book about their life, Darlene. Why should I purchase your story?
You are so good, Stacey. Thank you. Why should you purchase my story? I think that my life has so many avenues to it that it's going to help a variety of people, even if it's not something that you're personally dealing with or have dealt with. Maybe it's something or somebody in your family, or maybe it's a girlfriend, and you read my book and look at the things that happened, the way that I handled them, even when I did not believe in Christ. I believed in him, but let me say that differently. I was introduced to Christ, but I didn't have a relationship with Christ. So during the time not having a relationship, I really didn't, I only knew the stories that I read in the book, like a whole lot of other people. But my mom did take us to church.
Okay.
But as I grew older and I was on my own, things happened. And I remembered the teachings of what she told me. So as I began to get deeper into being a mother and to being the only caregiver, and all of these things kept running down on me, I called him. She said, call his name. So I began to turn to Christ. So in turning to Christ, that means I began a relationship with him. And it became very intimate with God. And as I began to test him, or try him, should I say, he began to answer.
Trusting God, huh?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I began to trust him, not really understanding him. But how can you understand something if you never try it? If
Mm,
you want to know if it's real, try it
that's
for
right.
yourself. And
So,
that's what I did.
and is that where we're going to read about that in the book? Like, is that what made you write the book? What made you write the book?
What made me write the
I mean,
book?
because you're taking a chance when you write a book about
Um,
your life, and when
yes,
things happen in your past, people, African American people, we want you, well, not we, but most of us, you keep what goes on in the house in the house. And here
I
you
talk.
are,
I
bold
talk
enough
about.
to put this book out. What made you write this book?
Oh, okay. So I should have wrote the book some years ago, right?
Okay.
But I was fearful of judgment. And in my book, not only does it talk about my experiences, but it gives examples of things that had I known to do then, I would have done differently.
Okay.
So my book is not just about me, but it's about my growth as well. And it's only a glimpse. It's not a lot, because this is the first book of a series. This is really a 3-book series that's happening, but this is just the first one.
So
So
without
go
you,
ahead.
without saying, Darlene, tell me about the book more, will you touch on what are some things? Give us 2 things as a woman that may make a woman watching this show want to run out and get the book. What will you touch on that's important to women?
There are going to be women from different walks of life that will read this book.
Okay.
Some of them, there'll be things that it will not have any effect on them, but it may have an effect on their niece, what their niece is doing with her children.
Okay.
She's
Okay.
got boys. I got 4 boys. So this is going to talk about not just women, but even men. And the way that men look at women. Some men are affected by women through because they were not ever with their mother. Their mother was never a mother of love, of any. She just left them to fend for themselves. So some men have a hate for women because they never had a mother that stood the test of time, even by herself, to raise them. So they're going to find that in this book, and even single men that are raising their children by themselves, they're going through the same things that some of the events in this book will take a glimpse at. It's going to be a glimpse of every little thing. In the book, there are icons where you'll be able to answer questions. And it does talk about what you said, Stacey. The African American family has always had a saying, and it'll be said throughout my book: what happened in this house stays in this house.
Wow.
And that has to end. And that's what's been going on now. You find now that a lot of African American families are trying to put a stop to that bleeding, because what happened in the house in the 60s, had it been addressed, it would not have happened again in the 80s.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. So this book will talk about a little of everything. It's got some things for men and women. And the most thing that I want them to take away, and I'm gonna give it back, is the love, meeting people where they are, meeting them where they are, because a lot of times we don't understand that the thing in our mouth that's a tongue destroys a person. And a lot of us don't know when to give love. Buying me clothes and shoes doesn't necessarily indicate love. It indicates your accountability because I was your child.
Sounds like
it
no.
indicates, yeah.
No, go ahead.
But we should have been addressing what was happening to her on the inside because I made a mistake, because of some decisions I made even after that happened because of the things that were said to me. So I look good on the outside, all right, but destroyed like a shredded machine on the inside. So hopefully this book will help people, men, husband, boy, and girl, to watch what they say because of the condition that he or she may be in. If we could watch what we say when they're in those places that don't look good, maybe it's embarrassing your family, instead of drowning them, why don't you pick them up and see if we can stop the bleeding?
Darlene,
have a seat.
have a seat.
And it's going to be audible as well, Stacey. So you'll be able to download it. Your tablet is going to be a hardback and that. So.
Okay. Well, you've got me interested. And I say that because, and I'm going to be honest, we all have a story.
We do.
And I'm not discounting anyone's story, but there's some stories, such as your story, from following you, from looking at your Table Talk with and More with Darlene on YouTube. You're both inspiring, motivating, and at times educating. And I appreciate that. And it sounds like, after hearing you speak about the book, we're going to get that inspiration, that motivation, and that education.
A little bit.
So we're going to read your book, and we're going to follow this woman from when she was young to having children to growing and being in a place now that you said you never imagined you'd be.
That's right. That's right.
Is there anything else you would like for the viewers to know? I do want you to include, I know we have it on the screen, but I want you to say, I am Darlene Lyons, and I want you to say how you can be reached.
Oh, Stacey, you're so amazing.
Thank
you for having me on your amazing show today. I was so honored when you asked. To even meet you was an honor. I've seen your work and it is amazing. And your smile, it just lights up a room. I can't wait to meet you next month for the book signing. I cannot wait because I know you're coming. So I look forward to meeting you very soon. But I am Darlene Lyons. I am the CEO of RDL, Prime Utility Locating, founder and owner. I'm the talk show host of Table Talking More with Darlene. And I want to say thank you to all of my supporters, all of you that follow me. And if you don't follow me, I thank you as well. I just want to say thank you to Damon Thomas, who is my book manager, DT Media Productions. I want to thank you, Stacey, for everything. And you can reach me at tabletalk910@gmail.com. You can also call me if you like at 704-605-0225. Please let it be business related.
You ain't looking for no special inbox messages, right?
No, no, it's okay. I'll be okay. I'm waiting on God. I'll
I
be
know.
okay.
I know.
I'm waiting on God.
We can have a whole lot more conversations. But Darlene, thank you for coming on the show. I'm
Thank
proud of
you.
you. I'm proud of you. I'm
Thank
looking
you.
forward to coming to Atlanta to your book signing. I'm looking
Yes.
forward to having my own camera equipment with me to post your book signing on my page. And when you have the book and you're ready to have a discussion on it, just let me know, okay?
I will. And I mean, we're going to be doing a book signing on August 15th in Lawrenceville, Georgia. And it's going to be from 3 to 6. And we're excited about that. And the pre orders should start any day. The link will be going out, so you'll be able to pre order the book. In just a couple of days, I'm gonna make an announcement about that. But the book will be officially out on August 15th.
Okay.
So if you would like to do the pre-orders, the link will be available on Facebook and Instagram. We're going to put it everywhere, and I'm sure Stacey will help me to execute that.
And I'm going to
So
tell
I
you
just
something. When you get your first order of books, I want you to put a video up, have somebody film you, and I want to share it because it's one thing to write the book, to know you've written it, but when you see it, when you hold it in your hands, it's going to be a great thing.
I'm looking forward to that, and that should be in the next week or so. I should
Okay.
have it. I have a rough draft of it.
Okay.
I've read it a few times. And it's just amazing just to see the names and the people and everything. I never it's a feeling. Yeah, it's
Well,
definitely a feeling.
I can't wait to read it. Um, and until next time, beautiful. Until we see each other, we'll talk. But until I see you in Atlanta, take
I
care of
can't wait.
take good care of yourself. And no one needs to tell you to be proud of yourself. I can't wait to read your life story, but whatever it was, whatever God brought you through, look at you now.
I
Look at
know it wasn't, Stacey. It wasn't easy. A lot of judgment. And I want to say this: people like to judge you, so they don't have to look at themselves, because they didn't do anything. It was all you. Nobody ever wants to be accountable for what they've done. And it's okay. It's okay because I love you anyway. In my book, I need to say, because I do a thank you. And it's not to be ugly. It's to let you know that what you did helped me. And I say thank you to every person that's ever said any ill thing about me. I tell them thank you in my book, in the end, in the back. It's a thank you, an acknowledgement to them. Because had they not, seriously, had I not, had they not did what they did, I would not have, I would not have gained wisdom and understanding of who I truly am. I get it. I get it. I've been the first of a whole lot of things. You know, the first to ever be bold enough. I was raised that a woman is not supposed to preach. You know what I'm saying? You can't. You know, it's like women don't belong in the pulpit. They belong in the pews. That was the type of church, that I was raised in. A woman could not be a minister. You know, and when I left home and again and learned God for myself, I began to understand that if he used a donkey, of course he'll use me, who he said he made in his own image.
I know
Even
that's
though I'm see, so if he made me in his own image, he don't just look one way. God looks many ways.
I
So
can't,
I don't worry about people.
I can't wait to get that book in my hands. I'm not a gossiper. I'm not nosy, but I am curious. Thank you
Well,
for coming on the show, beautiful.
thank you. Thank you.
Have a great night.
Love you, Stacey.
Love you
Good
too,
night,
sweetheart.
everybody. Good
Bye-bye.
night. Bye-bye.
That was my interview with Darlene Lyons, and another great person that I've met, that I've connected with. Be sure to check her out. Follow her on Facebook. Please purchase her upcoming book. I'll end this with, I always like to tell people, thank you for watching. Don't stress too much about yesterday or worry too much about tomorrow, because if you do, more than likely you're going to miss out on living today. You get it? I am Stacey Thomas, unrestricted, unlimited. Don't put me in a box. Don't you dare. Have yet to see all that God has for me. Have a great night.